SoniCloud View User Dashboard Training. As a View user, you can view points, run reports, and take action on alarms. When you log into SoniCloud, you will see your dashboard at the top, and then you will have your main areas underneath that dashboard. First, we are going to review the dashboard page. At the top of the dashboard, it will tell you how many points you have in use for the point status summary. Below that, we have the pie graph that will show you anything that's offline, and that will be in gray. Anything out of range will be in red. Anything in the caution range will be yellow, and then everything in range will be green. Off to the side, we have the shortcuts. So this will take you to our alarms table, and I'll go over that when we go over the alarm handling portion. This will take you to our reports page, and I'll go over how to run those reports towards the end of this training. This will take you to the calibration information. This calibration information page will pull up a list of every single point of monitoring that I'm tied to. To the side, it will tell you the location. So this point is in the Building 11 area here, and it's in the TAM demo zone. It's going to give you the point name here. Below that, you will have the serial number of the meter that the sensor is plugged into. And then off to the right, you have the serial number of the sensor, the type of sensor. So this is a SoniShield HT, so it does temp and humidity, and this is letting you know that it's the temperature side. It will tell you the date it was calibrated and the date that it expires. If you need to download the calibration certificates, you can click into the certificate icon, and it will pull up a calibration certificate that looks like this. So it gives you that same information here, the date that it was calibrated, the date it expires, how many months it was calibrated for, the type of sensor, the serial number, and then down here where it says test result, we don't send anything into the field unless it passes testing at 100%. And this is the reference probe data. So this is the sensor that it was tested against for its accuracy. If you ever need to download these or print these off, you can do that up here in the top right corner. Here at the top of the page, it says Snap Enrolled. So this is just saying that this SoniCloud site is enrolled into our SNAP program. So before you hit your expiration date, we will reach out to send you new calibrated sensors. So that way you're always within your dates and you're always in compliance. Below calibrations, we have support. You can also get to support by going to Navigate and going to support from here. You can call in to our support team at this number. We are available 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. Or you can submit a support ticket down here. If you choose an email response back, this will autofill with whoever's email address is logged in. If you're putting in the ticket, but you want someone else to follow up on that communication, you can delete your email address and put in theirs, or you can do comma space, and this will tie multiple email addresses to that one support ticket. You can also choose if you'd like a phone call back, and then you could put in your phone number here. Using this dropdown, you can select the different points of monitoring that you're having issues with. So instead of having a ticket open for each point of monitoring, you can put them all in this one ticket. This will give us a direct link to these points of monitoring on your site. And then down here, you can put a brief description of whatever the issue is, and then that way our support team can look into it before they reach back out to you for the first time. Below that, we have our alarm summary. So this will tell you how many threshold alarms you have, how many offline alarms you have, and if you click View All on either one of these, it will take you to this alarms table here. Below that, we have our favorite points section. So when I go over the historical graph for a point, you will see this little yellow star, like this one. And if you click it, it adds points to this favorite points section on the dashboard. And if you click it again, it removes it. So if there are points of monitoring that you want to see on this dashboard page, every time you log in, you can add them to the favorite points section. Under that is the Did You Know section. This isn't necessarily saying that there's anything wrong with any of these points of monitoring. It's just that SoniCloud has noticed something may be strange and wants you to take a further look. Sometimes it's really long-lived alarms. Sometimes there aren't any alarm profiles applied. If it's humidity like this one and it's a really consistent reading with no fluctuations, SoniCloud may just see that as strange and wants you to take a further look. Now we're going to move on to the alarm handling portion. So if I wanted to handle one of these threshold alarms, I can click into the alarm shortcut. I can go to navigate and go to alarms from here, and you can also access the alarms page from the settings page. This is our alarms table. Up here, we have some filters. So if you keep this clicked on alarms, it will show you all of your active and all of your snoozed alarms. Or you can look at just the active alarms, or you can look at all of your resolved alarms. On all three of these options, you can search by the point name, and for the resolved option, you can also search through a time range. Over here to the right, you can further filter these out. So if you just wanted to see offline alarms or threshold alarms or validation alarms or any combination of the three of those, you can filter those here. We're going to go back to just alarms, and we're going to look at this top one here. So first it's going to give me the point name. So Office J Room Temp 1 is the point name. This is in the Office J zone in the Building 11 area. So it's in this area here. It's going to give me the reading with the date and time. The status, so this one's been active for 22 hours, and the last action taken was generated by SoniCloud 22 hours ago. If I wanted to handle this alarm or take action on it, I can click into it. And I have three options here. I can comment, snooze, and resolve the alarm. We always recommend either snoozing or resolving an alarm because just leaving a comment doesn't take any action on the alarm. It only logs a comment down here at the bottom, and both of these options have a comment section. If I wanted to snooze this alarm, I can click into snooze. I have some different durations that I can choose from to snooze it for. I can also snooze for a custom duration, and I can silence an alarm. We don't recommend ever silencing alarms because if you forget to go back and take it out of that silent state by resolving it, this point of monitoring will no longer generate alarm notifications. So instead, we always recommend snoozing for a custom duration over silencing. If I wanted to snooze this for an hour, I can choose an hour here. I can come down here and leave my comments, and then I can hit snooze alarm. So now when it takes me back out to the alarms table, we can see that the icon has changed from red meaning it's an alarm to yellow meaning it's snoozed. Same information to the left here, but now the status is updated to snoozed for 59 minutes, and the last action was a snoozed alarm by me 1 second ago. If I then wanted to go back and resolve this alarm, I can click back into it. It's going to let me know at the top here that this has been snoozed for an hour. When I click resolve, I'm also going to get this little red notification just letting me know that this point is still outside of its set thresholds, so it's still in an alarm state, and even if I resolve it, it might re-alarm. I can choose a reason for resolving, and then again, I can leave my comments down here and hit resolve alarm. So now that one has disappeared from the alarms table, and if I click resolved, here it is right here at the top, same information to the left, but now the status is updated to resolved, and the last action was resolved by me. If I wanted to see the alarm history for this, I can click back into the resolved alarm and scroll to the bottom, and it's going to show me where SoniCloud generated the alarm with the date and time and why it was generated. It's going to show me where I snoozed it with the date and time, my comment that I left and how long it was snoozed for, and then it's going to show me where I resolved it with the date and time and the comment that I left. If you hit show notification log, this will give you a log of every single user that was sent an alarm notification, including re-notifications and what method they were sent that alarm through, whether it was text, phone call, email, or push notification. From the dashboard, we are going to navigate to our Building 11 area. So I'm going to click into this area here. It's going to give me the area name again here at the top. And then all of these gray bars here are different zones. These are all of the points of monitoring within those zones. If I want to see the historical graph for a point, I can choose the point I would like to look at, click into it, and it's going to pull up the graph page. It's going to tell me the point name. I can add this points to favorites and remove it from my favorites. I can choose different durations of data that I want to look at, and I can also do a custom range here. I can zoom in on this graph by using the pinch and zoom tool here at the top of the page, or I can come down to the graph and click and drag, and it will zoom in on that highlighted section. If the point has an alarm profile applied to it, you will see these colored lines on the graph, and these represent your thresholds. So this is the high threshold, the high caution, the low threshold, or the low caution, and the low threshold. All of these little dots are check-ins. So by default, all of our meters check into the SoniCloud site once every 15 minutes. And if I hover over one of these little check-ins, it's going to tell me the reading. And then there at the bottom in the little black banner, it's going to tell me the date and the time of that reading. I have these three little dots off to the side. If I hover over those, it's going to give me a couple different options. I can download this graph as an image. I can print it off. I can export this data to an Excel file. And then I can also annotate the graph. The annotate feature is like having Microsoft Paint on this graph here. So you can add text boxes, shapes, colors, but just keep in mind that once you make an annotation, you then need to go back and either print the graph off or download it as an image, because once you click away from this page, your annotation will disappear. We're going to navigate to the settings page. We'll go over reports here in just a little bit. We're going to look at the current data summary. So this is going to give you a list of every single point that you're tied to. Off to the side here, it's going to tell you the point name as well as the serial number of the meter that the sensor is plugged into. It'll tell you where it's located. So this one is in the new point section right here. It will tell you the last reading that it had and then how long ago it checked in. If the device is offline, you will see offline there instead, and then it will tell you the last time that that meter checked in. Over here, it gives you some diagnostics. So this will tell you the battery percentage. If it's on battery only, it will tell you that it's on battery only and what that battery percentage looks like. And it'll also give you some connectivity information. So we can see that this one has poor connectivity to the Wi-Fi. We'll also tell you if the alarms are configured or if a point is an active threshold alarm. We're going to go back to the settings page. We already went over the calibration information on the dashboard. So now we're going to look at vacation mode. If you are going to be away and you do not want to receive alarm notifications from SoniCloud while you are away, you can request vacation. So you're going to come to the top and hit request vacation. You can put in a start date and an end date. You can leave any comments for your admins, and then you can use the drop down to choose an admin you would like to notify. And then you request vacation, and your admin can go in and approve or deny that vacation request. We went over alarms and alarm history when we did the alarm handling portion. So now we're going to look at the reports. So you can get to the reports from the dashboard shortcut. You can get to the reports from the settings page, and you can also go to navigate and go to reports from here. We offer you all several different types of reports, and we have two ways to run those reports. We can do a subscription for the report, which your admins will need to set up for you, or you can run an on-demand report. To run an on-demand report, you are going to click into the on-demand reporting over here. So you're going to select your points of monitoring that you want to run the report for. And then you're going to come down to this drop-down and choose what duration you would like to run the report for. You can do daily, you can do weekly. And when you choose weekly, this will be your end interval that you're choosing. So if you wanted to run this from March 1st to March 8th, you would need to choose the 8th as your end interval, and it would run exactly 7 days back to the 1st. You can run this semi-monthly, so it will give you two options, the first half or the second half of the month. And then you can also run it monthly and pick your month that you would like to run the report for. Once you have all of that done, you can come down here and choose different types of data you would like to show on this report. Once you've included all of the data here that you would like, you can hit Run Report. Some of these reports will populate on the screen for you, and some of them will be sent to your email in a PDF. We also have an Include All Data option. Including all data does not toggle all of these on. Including all data will give you every single 15-minute check-in that the points that you've chosen have had for whatever duration you chose down here. So if you chose 3 points and you did monthly, it would show every single 15-minute check-in these 3 points have had for an entire month. We do not recommend doing this. If you need to include all data, we suggest that you do it point by point, day by day. That way, it does not turn a 5-page report into a 500-page report. If you have any questions on what you can do as a View user, you can always access our Academy page by going to Navigate and going to Academy. If you know what you're looking for, you can use the search bar here, or you can scroll down to this View User Training section, and this will give you a list of every single thing that you can do as a View user, as well as step-by-step instructions and videos on how to do each thing.